All right, everybody, welcome back to another story time. So, for this story time, I'm going to take you back into 2015. Okay, I was in high school at the time, and it's just like every time I think about high school, I have fun in high school. I have no regrets when it comes to high school at all. But I'll say this, like when I was when I was a freshman, majority of my friends, they were like seniors, freshmen, and seniors, sophomores, and juniors, right? So as you know, everybody gone and graduate, this, that, the third. So there was like a group of us, like it was a mixed bunch, like mixed with different grades, and I was the only freshman in the group. I was the only freshman in the group. And then I just want to say, I know sometimes we like to trip and be like, oh, our parents are being extra, our parents are this. My mama was right in this instant when it comes to one person, one individual. She was absolutely right. But I digress. We gonna get to that. So out of like, let's say 4 girls, we talking about me. I'm not saying their name here on social media. Okay, these are we're just gonna make up some names. We're gonna say me, Tiana, Havana, and Diana, right? So me, Tiana, and Havana, I was really close to the 2 of them. Like they were like my sisters. I freaking loved them. Still to this day, I freaking loved them so much. So I was kind of like the little baby sister of the group, like, the little sis. So whatever. So all 3 of those girls, they were actually a grade above me. So when I was a junior, they were seniors. So by the time, they graduated, I became a senior. We still kept in contact, but it's never the same. So we would probably hang out at the mall afterwards and things like that. After they graduate, I would meet with them and so forth. So out of those 3 girls, Diana and Tiana got pregnant. Okay? Keep in mind, they got pregnant, and I was happy for them. I was just like, even though, that's not what we wanted. It's not like something that they wanted to happen. It's not like they planned it, they had the little boyfriends and shit happens. Life happens. So then I remember I told my mom, I said, Mommy, Diana and Tiana got pregnant. She said, oh, they got pregnant? I was like, yeah, they got pregnant. This, that, and the third. She said, oh, okay. You never speaking to them ever since. And she was just like, you never gonna talk to them girls ever again until you graduate high school. And I looked at her, I said, what? She said, you never gonna speak to them girls until you graduate high school. I looked at her, I said, what do you mean I'm never gonna talk to them? Like, I'm really super close. I'm like super close with Tiana and Havana, so why can't I be friends with them? She said, you're never going to speak to them girls ever again. And I was pissed. And I couldn't even be there for Tiana's process, her being pregnant. I couldn't really support her, this, that, the third. She was not having it. My mama was not having it, right? So fast forward, I want to say maybe both of them were probably 9 months in. No, not 9 months. I want to say maybe 6 months in, 7 months in. And I remember I was at the mall and I actually ran into Diana. Okay. I ran into Diana and I was just like, hey girl, and we started just chopping it up and just talking, this, that, the third. We was just having good old conversation and just talking. And she was just like, you're a senior now, right? I was like, yeah, girl, I'm getting ready to graduate. I'm getting, all my stuff was already done. I want to say I was ready to graduate. I had all my classes and everything by the first semester of senior year. So it was just I didn't really have much to do at the time. So then she was just like, oh, so you ready to graduate this? I'm happy for you. I was just like, thank you. Because remember, it used to be 4 of us. It was the 4 of us girls together. But I wasn't as close to Diana as I was to Tiana and Havana. I wasn't as close to her. And then she just looked at me and said, so when you going to get pregnant? And I said, skirt. I said, excuse me? She said, yeah, me and Tiana is pregnant. When are you and Havana going to get pregnant? I said, who? Come again? What did you just say? What do you mean, when am I going to get pregnant? She's like, yeah, when you're going to get pregnant, like, you need, like, the both of us are pregnant. You need to get pregnant. And I was just like, excuse me? She was like, yeah, like, if you want, I could find you a man and, like, you know. I said, no, thank you. Keep it pushing. Girl, get the fuck out of my face. Like, get out of my face. When I tell you, when she said that to me, I was so upset. I was just like, wait a minute. So, just because you pregnant, you want me to be pregnant with you? Mind you, I never wanted to be, like, still to this day, I still ain't got no kids, okay? 10 years later, I still ain't got no kids. So, for you to sit here in my face and be like, oh, you need to get pregnant, that's crazy to me. That's, like, I was so upset. I was just like, did you really just freaking say that? She's like, yeah, like, you need to be pregnant. I'm pregnant. Like, you could be pregnant too. And I'm like, and what pisses me off is that Tiana, she got pregnant. And I remember when I was having a conversation with her, she was like, hey, sis, you're like a little sis in the group. It was her and Havana. They had the conversation. Mind you, Havana's not pregnant. She was just like, hey, you like a little sis in the group. Just because I get pregnant, I don't want you to be out here to be getting pregnant. Stay away from these boys. And I know you're going to go to college. You're going to go to school. This, that, or third. Stay away from these boys. They ain't got to offer. Okay? I don't ever want you to be pregnant this young and all that sort. I was just like, oh, that's my girl. That's my friend. That's my sister. When she said that, I hugged her. I was so happy. I was just like, when I tell you I love this girl still to this day. And then for this girl Diana to come to me talking about when am I going to be pregnant. And then when she said that, and then mind you, we're like having this conversation. We just having, I was like, we were in a heated conversation. She was just like, yeah, you need to be pregnant too. Is that the third? Like, she was mad. She was just like, I can't be the only one pregnant. You can't be, like, I was just like, what? I was so upset. I was so mad. And then after that, I was just like, oh my gosh, my mama was right. My mama was right. Like, my mother was right. Like, it makes sense why she didn't want to be friends. Why the moment she found out, she found out, like, the both of them got pregnant. She was just like, you can't be friends with them until you graduate high school. She was just like, you can't be friends with them until you graduate high school. I want you to be kiki ha with them like you used to. Like, we used to go to the mall after school. Like, we used to catch the public bus. And then, like, after school, we used to, like, go to the mall and just chill, go to the food court. Like, you know, like, young ladies, teenagers activity. That was her thing. And then she was just like, I don't want you doing that either. And then in that moment, when I'm having a conversation with Diana, I'm like, this trifling heifer. She really stood there in my face talking about, I need to be pregnant too. So just because you got pregnant around the age, 18, 19, you want me to be pregnant with you? Like, are you for real? Like, be freaking honest. Like, well, she was being honest. But, like, it shocked me that she even had that mentality to begin with. I'm like, were you always like this? And I just missed the clue, like, and I just missed the signs because, like, I was really close with Tiana and Havana. Like, is this how you were really, like, is this how you were the whole time? And then after that, I ran into Diana, like, I want to say 3 years later. And then, like, the same conversation came up. Oh, so you don't have no kids? You don't have no kids yet? I'm like, damn, I never met, invested in my womb this much. I never met a woman invested in my womb this much. Like, what? And then it was just like, come to find out, she ended up having, like, she had 2 more kids after that. So total 3 kids by then. Like, 2-3 years later, total 3 kids. And I was just like, Girl, bye. You tried it.